What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the pre-sale prices for Wilds of Eldraine. Sneak preview events start this weekend, and that means that at some places, especially premium stores, you're going to be able to start buying them pretty soon as well. So I thought it'd be good to just kind of take a look at where the market is at on this and how things are performing. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. Thank you guys so much for being here, and before we jump into it, if you do enjoy the content, please hit the like button and subscribe. Click the bell icon if you want to stay notified to the channel for all up-to-date information and other videos. Just a quick note, I have also recently started posting some Lorcana content in addition to Magic. I just want to let everybody know that subscribed for Magic, that it's not going anywhere. I did a poll asking if they'd be interested in seeing some coverage, and it was mixed, with some people saying yes and some people saying indifferent. So there will be some scattered in throughout, but it won't affect the regularly scheduled Magic content, which has been the primary focus of the channel. Just wanted to address that in case there was anyone who was a bit concerned about any type of major shift in direction. Now, this set is not Commander Masters. It is not a premium set, so ideally it will be selling at a regular value. We're seeing that in the market a bit here. Collector boosters around 200, set boosters around 120, and drafts around 110. Reasonably speaking, not bad prices across the board. I think, for the most part, you'll see these stay pretty close to around that. Collector boosters, 200 is about the standard where we're at here, and with 200 you end up paying what I think amounts to, like, I forget what the math is when you divide it out, but it's like $16 a pack. Not bad considering if you buy them like at a store like a Target or Walmart or whatever, you pay like $26 or $27. Normally when I do get collector boosters, I just like to get a box. It just tends to be easier, and these collector boosters are interesting, and they do have the confetti foils amongst a few other things, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's nice to see the set that's like reasonably priced in terms of discussion. So right now, and I will say this, obviously looking at pre-sale prices using TCGPlayer, and obviously you can look at Card Kingdom as well, these prices do tend to drop a lot, especially as we get closer to the actual release. But with this point being less than a week out, it's usually a decent enough barometer of where we're at value-wise to get a sense of where things are going to be. At least, what's going to end up being highest, what's going to be lowest. People haven't really had a chance to playtest with this too much. I know on Magic Arena, starting soon, there will be some streamers who will be able to do some drafts and events and play with this, and then of course the rest of us, it'll be on there next week. So things could change and prices could go up as people find that other cards are good, but for the most part, it's nice to at least get a sense of where things are going to be. Moonshaker Cavalry is dominating the top of the regular set along with Beseech the Mirror. I do think Beseech the Mirror is actually really good, especially because it's essentially a tutor that allows you to, in some cases, cast the card for free if you use the bargain mechanic. I do like this. It's obviously a little costly, being 1 and 3 black, but, considering the options that are available, there's certainly worse tutors out there, and not all tutors allow you to grab a card and play it without paying its mana cost, which is certainly something to consider. I'm sure this will find its way into other formats in some capacity as well. It's not just going to be a standard thing. Moonshaker Cabaret around 20 isn't bad. I do think this is a really good card. It's a little bit weaker than Craterhoof, but it's still really powerful. I think, obviously you see the extended art's going a bit higher. I do think this card will end up doing relatively well for itself, but it'll probably drop a few more dollars before going back up. I mean, right now you just see 50 listings, and obviously, once the set is actually out, there's going to be a lot more. Agatha's Soul Cauldron is another one that people are really high on. I think this card as a whole has a ton of potential. When I first reviewed it, I didn't really understand, but there's some combos I've seen come out, just infinite mana combos amongst other things with this. It's a pretty darn good card, and obviously, I think, if anything, does have a chance to go up early on with pre-orders. If it were to bottom out at enough of a low price, this could definitely be one of them, because it's not going to be just Commander, just Standard that people are chasing after this for. You're going to see a lot of people going after this in Standard, and that's obviously, a big thing, but you'll see Commander in other formats as well. Obviously, I think this card screams EDH to me, but it still has its uses. Standard. People really like Blossoming Tortoise as well. Blossoming Tortoise being able to get some land stuff back. Also, activated abilities of lands cost less. I really do like this card. I think that it would have been really cool as a Commander option, like if it was a legendary creature. However, the one thing that makes it interesting in non-Commander formats is this ability can stack. So if you're playing lands that have high activated abilities, you can have multiple copies of this out and bring those down. I'm interested to see what people end up doing with that, but I think, price-wise, 10 to 15-ish. I mean, this could be a card that's probably going to be worth grabbing, that might do well over time. The Virtue cards are really hard to tell because all of them are pretty freaking good, including Virtue of Knowledge, which is basically a Panharmonicon on its secondary side there for blue. I think that obviously is going to command value for it, but you see a lot of people undercutting each other on prices. Definitely looking to see some competition, so it's obviously interesting in that regard. And then Some of the other Virtue cards are very good too, but I think you're going to see that, and perhaps Persistence as well, high up there as it's showing right now. I think Ashiok's already pretty low. It's probably going to settle at like $5. Talion is another one I do like. The foil one may end up holding out a little better, but relatively speaking, it's pretty low. I mean, the main set so far is not striking me as crazy high with prices, which I guess is a good thing if there's stuff you want to get, but also it points to a lot more value being in the Enchanting Tales subset versus the main set. But there are a lot of cards in the $5 to $6 range here that are like, you know, part of this set, that are part of the core, you know, set and standard legal that have some value. I think the regular Virtue cards, I think a few of the rares look good, and you'll always see the extended art variants command more. But there's nothing here that's like crazy high price, which leads me to believe that when the set actually drops, a lot of these may drop even lower, which means it's going to be a pretty low end in terms of value, but there'll be plenty of stuff to pick up if there's things that you want. I mean, Blossoming Tortoise, a really good card at $6 right now. What's it going to be when, you know, 100 listings are there, 200 listings, whatever, however many come up for a set that's cracked open a ton. So just kind of looking at pre-orders here, I think for the most part, like if there's anything in the main set that you want, you're not going to have too hard of a time getting it. And, you know, you should have a pretty good selection of things to buy when the set comes out if there's stuff you're looking at. So there may be things that are worth grabbing low and holding on to if you think there's a chance they go up, because obviously we've seen Throne of Eldraine age quite well too. It's a popular plane with a lot of popular mechanics, and I do think some of these cards may really shape the standard format going forward. So just, you know, something to keep an eye on. And let's not forget also that this set does have the Walking Dead Secret Lair cards in the list, and they're more commonly pulled than other cards on the list, but still pretty low percentage-wise, so I wouldn't bank on that, but it may be something else that kind of drives demand of that a little bit in terms of the set boosters. Looking at the Enchanting Tales subset, which is what I think a lot of people are really kind of into, kind of looking at. They're seeing the confetti foils do really good numbers right now for the bigger end. Smothering Tithe 350, Doubling Season 315, Heuristic Study around 300, all top end. You know, Parallel Lives, Kindred Discovery, these are doing well too. I don't know what the pull rates are going to look like for the confetti foils just yet, how often they're going to pop up, so that'll definitely play a part in the value. I know some people have started opening collector boosters, but I don't think we've seen enough open yet to have a real good pull rate idea of when these will show. If they're like the Surge foils, then I think some of them will definitely end up staying towards the higher end, specifically really the big four up here. But we could see other ones go up too over time, especially with the demand that a lot of these are going to have. Though the confetti foils are really cool for what they are, but I just wouldn't bank on it like, you know, holding its value like crazy, because even a lot of the Surge foils did drop. So the bigger end cards will definitely stay high. I definitely think you should wait on these, though, see where they end up settling, because it's got to be more than what's listed there. But if you can be a little patient, I think you'll get some better deals. Doubling Season, actually really happy to see this one at 50. I want to own this card. I adore the artwork. I said it when it came out. We're seeing the foils around 115, so they're still pretty high. But again, this may drop even more going into it. I mean, this is a double dip reprint. I would wait again on the pre-order. I mean, I could be wrong. It could end up going up, but if you know, I think you can wait. I really do. I think it has, you know, it'll go down a little bit more. I mean, we don't know what these anime art styles are going to do. They do seem like they hold a bit of a premium over a standard reprint, especially looking at Jumpstart and other sets at Kamigawa that have had anime arts. But I don't know. I think that, you know, you'll be able to get some stuff at a relatively reasonable price, and this is just kind of a gauge of where we're at now. Where it'll be when the actual set is widespread release should be lower. Doubling Season at 35 here for the Tapestry one, as I've called it. Regular Heuristic Study at 40. That's a little pricey, but it's really not that bad either. You know, the anime versions, like I said, people are going to like. 28 on Parallel Lives is great. I've said before, this artwork is awesome. Land Tax at 20. I mean, these are all some pretty darn good pre-sale prices, but that tells me that if you just wait, you'll be able to get even better prices based on what we've seen on TCGPlayer trends. I mean, look at Heuristic Study, $25 for this. If you get this at 20, that's a great deal. I mean, every copy of Heuristic Study has aged well over time. Smothering Tithe at 12, Bitter Blossom at 13, Land Tax at 12. These are cards that, like, before these reprints were in the 30s almost, with the exception of Tithe, I guess, but these are all really, really good reprints here, and the value is looking to be fantastic at an early level, so I would highly recommend being smart with the way you shop, but also monitoring this stuff, because you might be able to get a lot of these cards that are considered really good cards at low prices, and they will likely go back up over time. That just has been the way it works. And honestly, it would not shock me, you know, if we did see a similar pattern with a lot of these cards. I'm really happy that the prices are settling out the way they are. It does, you know, it does suck for the overall sealed value of the set, and hopefully it won't impact sellers too much. But I mean, there's a lot to like here, and I think over time we'll look at the set as a set that's going to do quite well for itself, because these are some damn good reprints, and it's just nice to be talking about a regularly priced set with some good hits, and more importantly, a lot of good cards that I think over time will help to kind of preserve the value of this set as a sealed product. So that's going to do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of the pre-sale prices, kind of where we're at with the set. I'm hoping I can get some in hand on Friday to do a little bit of an early video opening. I'm, going to be checking a few of my local shops for running pre-sale events and stuff. So hopefully we can get some in, and maybe we'll even get lucky and pull a confetti foil. Who knows? But let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the set and the overall prices. Is there anything you're planning on going in on? And do you have your eye on stuff you're waiting on the prices to drop? As always, super appreciate your time, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.